I was a, I was a hateful person before. I couldn't stand to look at myself in the mirror. I used to spend a lot of my time in my room with the lights off. Even in daylight, I recall trying to make the room as dark as possible. It was just total darkness. Even though that was a time of torment because you always felt like you heard things or something was going to come out and do something horrible to you. When you're doing drugs and that type of thing, it's always a period of acceleration where you never downsize, you're always increasing. And anytime that you're without, you're gonna do whatever you gotta do to get it. I was gainfully employed by Broward County School Board as a counselor. I was a counselor by day and an alcoholic addict by night. You can't continue with those type of things at the income that you make in the field of education without doing something to supplement that income. So what I did was I started taking some of the equipment and whatever I could get my hands on the pond to support my habit. And I lost my job. As I was led and placed in the car, there was a great sense of peace. And I was just thinking about the fact that did I really and truly do something so horrible that I had to be taken away from my community, taken away from my family. You know, being in prison is very degrading. It's demoralizing. It's a humbling situation. It tears you down. You know, each and every day that you woke up, you always expected to see home and expected to smell things that were familiar with it and familiar to you. But you didn't. You didn't hear familiar voices. You didn't smell familiar smells. You were sleeping next to someone you never knew. You were being instructed and directed as to what you were doing by people you never saw before. And you had to comply.
It's raining.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay.
Was working on a compound, and Dr. Crawford and his group would come through on Saturdays doing prison fellowship ministry, but I recognized one or two faces, so I was really embarrassed about being in there, so I didn't attend. But a couple of weeks later, I just said, you know what? My walk with God is too important to be passing up opportunities to be reinforced and encouraged. So I went. Sure enough, that was one of the greatest things the Lord has allowed me to do. Dr. Crawford and the group that came with was so encouraging. They were not just giving Bible studies and just talking about things of the Bible. They were talking about things that were so relevant to me existing on that compound day after day after day. And he said, you know what, I would really like to be your mentor. And that was basically it. And he's been my mentor ever since. On September 10th, 2003, I was released. You know, I had, when you work and that type of thing and you come home, but there was like something missing that I knew I needed to do something and encourage somebody. And so I joined Prison Fellowship. Mrs. Denmark, who's the executive director, has allowed me to do one of the classes that they have, and we talk about family development. it's just been a miraculous thing, being able to go back into the same facility that released me and go back twice a week. I try to tell them that this is an opportunity for you to be restored. That when you come out of here, you have a clean slate. You've been forgiven. You shouldn't want to be in a situation. You shouldn't walk around with your head held down. That time is over with. You lift up your head and you go out there with every intention of doing well and being a better person. You walk out of here being better than you were when you walk in. You know, they could be known as the father who's a viable part of the family right now. The kids don't have to look forward to going to the prison to visit their father. Their daddy is home with them now.